Although in the 1820s Europe was under the spell of ancient Egypt, Champollion was deeply frustrated by the lack of material that there was to decipher. Then, the Dendera zodiac arrived in Paris. This carved relief had been taken from the ceiling of the Dendera temple near the ancient city of Thebes. It was potentially an extremely threatening object for the church because of its likely age. Some believed it so old it challenged the version of history recorded in the Bible. As far as the church was concerned at the time, the Bible was an historically accurate document. Using it, scholars had dated Noah's great flood to the year 2349 BC. They believed all ancient civilizations before that were wiped out. Any evidence to the contrary would directly challenge the authority of the church.
It's beautiful.
Where's it from?
The roof of a temple in Dendera. You can tell from the stars that it's a zodiac. Something to do with ancient Egyptian astrology.
Are you certain of its age?
Let me show you. This is the cartouche of Queen Arsinoe. I put it around 2000 BC.
That's what I've told King Louis. Others think it could be earlier.
It can't be earlier. As we all know, the Great Flood occurred in 2349 BC. Nothing would have survived. Anything that challenges this date challenges the authority of the Church and the Word of God.
Absolutely, Father Abbot. And I'm as certain as I can be that this zodiac poses no threat to the Church.
Perhaps we should get a second opinion.
Not if that opinion puts its age before the flood.
Well, we could determine the matter secretly. On the other hand, if its age poses no danger, would it not be better to confirm as publicly as possible Professor Sarcey's expert view and kill off these rumors once and for all?
Well, if we must.
Who do you have in mind? Who has the appropriate knowledge and authority?
What about Champollion?
He's an opponent of the Church.
Well, there we are. That's exactly what we need. His opinion won't be diverted by his faith. True impartiality. I think that's just what His Majesty's after.
This was an opportunity Champollion couldn't pass up. It could be the first step on his road to Egypt and the realization of his dream.
How much did the king pay for this?
150,000 francs.
I'm afraid Monsieur le Duc has paid too much. This is modern, after the birth of Christ.
That's not possible. The cartouche refers to Queen Arsinoe.
No, it doesn't. It means this goddess, Al-Hayat, holds up the sky of the south. It could come from any period. But this says autocrator, the Greek word for emperor used during the Roman period.
So, how old is it?
Yeah, no more than 1,500 years.
Are you prepared to state that publicly?
Yes, of course I am.
Excellent. Thank you, Monsieur Champollion. The Church will be most grateful for your support.
I'm just telling the truth.
Well, there we are. All's well that ends well. Eh, Cersei?
The treasures of Egypt were slowly starting to trickle into Europe. But nobody knew the real significance of any of the pieces because nobody, apart from Champollion, could read hieroglyphs.
You've made some pretty powerful enemies.
Shall I add you to that growing number?
As an advisor to the king, I shall have to tell him that his money might have been better spent. And I've you to thank for that embarrassment.
My apologies.
No, not at all. Is Sassy correct? Is all this untested?
Not entirely, no. I'm completing a summary of my own theories at the moment. I'm hoping to publish soon. Then I'm desperate to get to Egypt myself and put my theories to the test. But it's probably just a dream.
Egypt's proving rather popular at the moment. His Majesty wants to add to his Egyptian acquisitions. There's a collection in Italy assembled by our consul in Alexandria, a Monsieur Drovetti. The king might like to buy it. We're just not sure what to pay. This valuation business, it seems rather fluid. Thank you for your help. Goodbye.
Why don't I value it for him? His collection in Italy. Why don't I value it for the king?
I was thinking of asking Sassy.
But he was wrong. By about 2,000 years. It's rather a large margin of error. It's like saying this museum was built before the birth of Christ. How wrong does he need to be?
You're a well-known Republican. Can the king trust you with his budget? He might take some persuading.
Forget the politics. My allegiance is to history and the truth. Oh, actually, that's pompous nonsense. If you give me the money, I'll do the job. What do you say?